Ready, set. What is going on, guys? Joey here. Today we're going to be breaking down Delaney's meet. He just competed at SPD Raleigh. First off, I just want to say thank you to everybody that put the meet on. It was a great meet. It was the strongest local meet of all time. I don't think this can be disputed. I think it actually is true. It was a really great experience. I literally, as soon as I got home, I messaged the people behind the meet. I don't know if they want to be named. um, and I said, please, if you guys are doing another one, let me know. I got some lifters that are looking for meets end of the year, and I think for a meet of this quality, it's definitely worth, traveling for. I don't know how often these things are going to come by, but I love that it's there to sort of give the lifters that maybe they didn't get first place at nationals and didn't go to worlds, but they're still literally some of the best lifters in the world, and they want to compete and they want to have an opportunity to handle business, and show what they got and prove, hey, I belong on that world stage. This is a great competitive environment to do that. So it was super fun. So for the team, we had Delaney, Wallace. We had in prime time, we also had Devin Williams, coached by Mikey Davis. In the earlier sessions, we had a couple boys too. But it was a smaller meet. I actually don't know when they decided on adding a morning session. I originally thought it was just going to be like a primetime thing, but I'm going to just kind of break down Delaney's meet, since that's who I coach, right? That's who I know the most about, and we're going to kind of give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes, talk about the positives, talk about what we need to do better, and yeah. So I'm just going to kind of get right into it. I do have a little bit of notes here. The first thing that I have in the notes, so Delaney just competed at Sheffield. I believe he put up 843 or 842 and a half. I'm not sure. I think it was 842 and a half, because the world record was just below that. He definitely improved. He definitely got stronger from Sheffield till now, but also we didn't have to deal with international travel. This was also the best. This was also the best weight cut that we've done. He's been working with Alberto Nunez, the OG, for a really long time, and every single time they cut, it's better and better and better and better. He actually was strong. He was very strong on squat. He was good for the top end range that I had. He actually hit 315 kg, which is 694 pounds in the gym. Before the meet, it was a fatigued, single, from not fatigued in the same day, but fatigued from just in training. So yeah, 842.5. Thank you, Matt. I knew that with the peak, if the weight cut goes well, that we would be good to go, and he handled business. So that pretty much told me that he was going to be on point. Depth was really good. Just going to skim over some notes. There wasn't really anything holding us back coming into the meet. It was pretty smooth. We didn't have to travel crazy for it. He did drive many hours, like I think it was 8 or 9 hours. That's the only small thing, but it was not a bad thing. It was not like traveling all the way to the UK and different time zone and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna let the meet play for you guys, and then I'm just gonna kind of go through what I was thinking. Let me turn my phone on silent. So 287.5 here. I mean, opener, just want to get in the meet. You want your opener to be within 11 to 9% of where your projected third is going to be. I know some people like to do it different, but that's just kind of always worked out well. First time in the new equipment. Really smooth there. We can just stick to the plan. Not really Everything looks slower in the moment for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Jump 15 keys. We're still on pace to hit 315. But you got to kind of call it how you see it. I do believe that we warmed up 5 kilos on each warm up heavier than we normally would have. I don't really think that's that big of a deal, but some people say, well, if you take off 5 kilos, that's 60 kilos that you saved that you actually had to lift, although it's 5 kilos spread out amongst all 5 warm ups. I don't even know if my math is right there, but you guys get what I'm saying. You just want to save your energy a little bit. So that was one small variable that was different. That looks good. There was some slowdown there. When I'm gauging a lift, especially when I'm gauging like RPE, all I care about is the slowest portion. That's all that I'm looking for. So based on that, it's very interesting, right? I went 7 kilos. I believe he could have gone 10. But the commentators said 2 to 5. Again, for whatever reason, maybe it was where I was standing, and I'm starting to feel the more meets that I'm at. You know, if you have a big weight on the bar and there's like 50,000 spotters, I can't see that well. It's difficult for me, and oftentimes I'll try to have somebody recording a screen in the back that I could take a look at. For those of you that don't know, the timer, the clock. For you have 1 minute after an attempt. It starts when the lights come on. So I had my phone out in this situation. It was the attempt before. I had my phone out, and as soon as the lights came on, I actually tried to start like a second early. I start the clock, and then I have a whole minute to talk to Delaney, see how it felt. I had Mikey in the back. Mikey, let me see the video. Okay, looked like this, looked like that. And then I decided on 7 kilos, 310. The reason why, so his PR was 305. I felt like minimum, all things the same, given that he's not traveling overseas, we should at least have 5. And he hit 315 in the gym, so this is a fine number. Some people might be saying, oh well, it looks like he could have hit a lot more than that. Like, why didn't you go another 5 kilos? That is very dangerous. You're flying a little bit close to the sun. I think going another 2.5 is probably fine. On a meet like today, we definitely needed the extra weight, but also we could save energy for deadlift, and that did actually work out because I was surprised on deadlift. He was much stronger on deadlift and peaked way harder on deadlift than I had anticipated. And I guess when we get to deadlift, remind me, chat. Remind me to fill you in on how I built his deadlift this meet, because it was not prioritizing deadlifts too much. Okay, so opener bench 197.5. I had Big Grant. Big Grant is like a 300 IQ human, 3000 IQ human, and he was like, you gotta go 205, and I was like, Delaney really wants to be in range of 215, and if we don't jump it like this, it's not gonna happen. So just went up 2.5, not a big deal. I know he can hit this weight. Yeah, to 197.5. He wanted us to go 195. Sorry if I misspoke. He hit it. I remember Tina messaging me like, dang, that looked a little tough. 7 is gonna be like probably it, and then we went 10 because me making that attempt choice, this number right here, is simply based on my prior information of knowing the lifter. It's not an attempt that I would make if I didn't coach Delaney. I would not jump that. Absolutely not. So again, not traveling internationally. He hit 210 in the gym. Weight cut was really well. Squats were really strong. I don't really need to think about it. I know that he's going to hit 205, assuming he executes, right? And usually his bench is very consistent. We haven't really missed a bench in a long time, so there would be no problem there. He hits the 207. Now he wanted to go 212. He said go 212 and walked away. I'm sitting there. I have the pen in my hand. The girl at the desk. I did a podcast with her. I'm forgetting her name. I think it starts with an A. I want to say it's Adriana. I apologize. And she looked at me. She gave me the look like, I don't know, brother. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, there's no point. Normally, I like to bet the 2 to get the 5. But given how solid Joe looked, Delaney's main competitor, I was like, I think everything counts right now, and we just need to make a lift. So I only jumped 2.5, and you guys will see. I think I made the right choice, but there was a little bit of, upon further inspection, as in the moment I could not detect this, there was a little bit of a mishap, which you guys will see in a second here. Shout out to whoever thought of the blue bench pad. That is amazing. Nice little extra touch. Watch the center of the bar. Center of the bar. If you watch it, it's so subtle. It's so unbelievably subtle, but when the bar gets to the L, it's gonna come down for like a millisecond. So I do think that technically that small downward motion, it is a red light. It is a red light, and it looked good on the first little pause, but on the second one, it was so tiny. But hey, they caught it. Good eye on the judges. Is what it is. Just got to be better. So now, coming into deadlift, I remember the situation. Coming into deadlift, we have body weight advantage. We are 12 kilo. If we need to make Joe pull 12 kilos more than us, but we have body weight advantage, so he has to pull 15 kilos over us. And so I'm thinking, okay, we need to try to hope for 340 and push Joe to 355. Joe was good for fucking way more than that. And I mean, shit happens. But Delaney was still on pace for a like the second or third best total like ever done. And he peaked so well on deadlift. And he came to life on his lower body attempts as the meet went on. Now it's very subtle, but if you watch his top hand, look at his top hand, you see the bar kind of getting a little loose in the top hand, right? So pull him aside, say, hey, you know, you need to, I like the cue knuckles down, because if your knuckles are facing down when you initiate the lift and you're pulling mixed grip, and you go to lock out, when you roll your shoulders back, the bar is going to be higher in your hand, and you have a higher probability of making the lift. If the bar is lower in your hand, yeah, Tina, you're probably right. We should have gone 195, 205, and then tried 210. He probably would have got it. But anyway, if the bar is too low in your hand when you go to roll your shoulders back, the bar is gonna roll into your fingertips, and you're gonna drop the bar. It's gonna be on your nails, pretty much, right? If it falls into your nails, you're screwed. So I told him, get your knuckles facing the ground. Much better there. Better. That was great. That was a 17 kilo jump. No problem. 3 whites. And there was a lot of discussion in the back. I had everybody and their mother telling me 337.5. I agree. 337.5 is a fine number. 337.5. On a day that we were just hitting trying to hit a PR total, I'll go 15, you know, or I go 12. Fuck, you know, who cares? It makes me wonder what would happen if Delaney was at Worlds, and it would have been very interesting. But anyway, coming into deadlifts, loaded 340, and I could kind of tell at what recording this film, the commentators were kind of like, I don't know, that's a lot of weight. I don't think he might have it. Does he have it on the day? Da da da. But he actually, so his meet PR is 330. This is 22 pounds more than his meet PR, and we just competed at the end of January. Unless I'm tripping and it was February. I don't even know anymore. February? Yeah, my bad, February. So even better. So he locked it out, and then what I saw where the red lights came in, so he's right there, but his grip kind of got stuck on his leg, and then when he went to lock out, his right knee, so our left, his right, it got a little bit soft. You could see it right there. Yeah, it just gets a little soft. I think just need to make sure the nails are cut on the top hand, and maybe I could give him a little bit less sodium. Maybe he bloats a little bit less, and then that's smoother. He had it. It was just right there. This knee gets a little soft, and at this level, everything has to be perfect. It was really, really close. Strength-wise, though, he usually would just get stuck. So definitely moving in the right direction. Now, what I was going to touch on earlier was that when we built the deadlift, we kind of just said, okay, with Delaney specifically, some lifters it is also going to be like this. Some lifters it's not going to be like this. But with Delaney specifically, there's a lot of interference between his squat and his deadlift. So as long as I'm making sure that we're building the safer lift for him, which is the squat, we build the squat really, really well. And we're practicing the deadlift to some degree, getting some work in, right? But we don't have to go as crazy. Like let's say, think of it as like a bodybuilder would think of their training. You're training lower body, right? They would see it as like you're hitting squats and deads, that's legs, right? Just say something like that, right? I don't need to emphasize the deadlift as much if we're blasting the squat with volume. The downside to that is that in those higher loads, right, the 340, we actually attempted 350 in training. I think it was 350 or 355, I don't remember. But that was like one time. The problem with doing it that way is the deadlift is going to be tanked most of prep, and then you're going to get a big ass peak on meet day. Like you're going to be so overly strong, than you were in the gym doing it that way, right? So that's what happened. He peaked like 10 keys over what he failed. Actually, I think he tried 335 at Sheffield and failed that. So he peaked pretty damn well. After hitting a squat PR, after grinding that bench. So really happy with the 340, but we need more practice for the grip, for him, for confidence, all those things. We need more practice with, the 330s, the 335s, the 340s, maybe even 345s, 350s, in training more often. And I said this to Russ. I'll never forget 2018 Nationals. It was the last time Russ missed the third squat on strength. And I said, that was your first time touching anything close to 700. Now that you know what it feels like, it's going to come easier now, right? You know how to prepare, you know how to handle it. And it's kind of the same thing here. Delaney has never attempted 340 in a meet before. He got it up. We just need to get that grip on the top hand more secure, make sure that knee stays locked, and he should be good to go. But in the gym, we only had ever tried 325. We had never tried anything more than that. I mean, we attempted a big weight more than that. He was just on one that day and went crazy. He jumped 25 keys. But he had, clean 325s in the gym. It's just different on meet day. So moving forward, I want him to work with not so much weights. Yes, weights, but RPEs on singles and doubles, triples that are going to tax him in a similar way so that way next time, we can force our opponent to hit. Like if we can force Joe to have to pull like 380, 375, something insane like that, then that'll play to our favor. Now I do want to say, had Delaney hit that, I think he would have totaled 857 and a half, which is like way over the world record. So I mean, like I said, we're gonna passively just always be getting stronger in the background. That's like the easy part. We have to interrupt that to come do the meet, no problem. Things didn't go our way, and in hindsight, I guess I have more closure because it's like, well, it wouldn't have mattered had we got this because Joe was able to pull more than that anyway. He was able to go up to a really big weight and just kind of hit it anyway, which is in a way it's kind of like, okay, We had two more on squat. We didn't get the bench. If we get that and we get this lift, that forces Joe up another 2.5. It was possible, but we didn't do that. That's not how things played out. Um, Now, here's the interesting thing, right? Well, first off, let me say Delaney is an amazing lifter. He held it down for the team. He fucking held it down for the team when he wasn't here. When Russ wasn't here, right? He took over that 83 kg spot. We kept it in the family. We kept the 83 kg spot in flex since 2019, right? And on the world level, since the national level, even like way 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 before that, we've literally had that thing since the hack days, which is actually insane when you think about it. But so I'm so proud of Delaney. I remember when I told him and said, "Hey man, I want you to switch over to Powerlifting America. I want you to come with me on this journey." And like I know that USAPL is really hyped right now, but like I think you could take a world spot, and it's an experience that I don't want you to miss out on that. And he said, "Let me think about it." Calls me the next day. He's like, "All right, Joey, let's do it." And we did it. And now he's been all over the world. He's been able to grow his following. It's been such an amazing, life-changing experience, and I'm just so thankful that he trusted me and was able to go on that. And I'm so thankful that he was able to be a world champion not only once but twice. You know what I mean? Because to even have it once is like such a special thing. And I understand that it is extremely difficult. It's one thing to become world champion, but then to maintain it for so many years, it's extremely difficult. And you can't if we're going against the same guys we're going against at the national level, Delaney wins this meet. But that's not what happened. A new kid, 21-year-old kid, came out of nowhere who was really fucking strong, and he handled business. I mean, we knew he was coming, but at the end of the day, it's like it is what it is. Um, Another thing too, Delaney is 28, 29, going on 30 soon. Joe's 21. This is the natural order of things, right? That doesn't mean Delaney's gonna roll over. Absolutely not. I absolutely believe that he can squat 325. I believe he could bench 215. I believe he could pull, 355. You know what I mean? I believe he can do these things. We're gonna have to work our asses off for it, and I'm very excited that we have the opportunity and the privilege to be able to do these things. But it's just one of those, it's tough. It's sports, right? It is what it is. When I played football, a game is every week for 10, 12 weeks out of the year, and then if you make the playoffs, whatever, right? In powerlifting, you're only competing, 2, 3 times a year. If you're in Europe, like 57 times a year. But it doesn't feel good to put in the work, get stronger, and still it not be enough when you're so used to, especially with Delaney, he's had to work for everything. He had to work for nationals. He had to work for worlds. It wasn't like he was like this outlier that just came in at 20 years old. That's not to take anything away from Joe. Joe's an amazing lifter. It does bring up the in the conversation, whatever you guys want to call it. Can we consider Joe an outlier at 21 years old? Is he an outlier, right? To be able to hit a total like that. Does it matter? No, it doesn't really matter because we're gonna try to give him the work anyway. And I know honestly, our relationship with Joe is great. He's a great competitor. It's super encouraging. It's all about sports. It's like what you want in a competitor. Yeah, and wow, I kept this thing on the whole time in the background. Sorry, guys. The music. It ended up being a great competition. Shout out to Angelo. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Joe. It was a really close battle. It felt like nationals. It felt, we got to be on our business. Anybody misses, and you're gonna lose your spot like by 4 positions. That's exactly what happened. We go down 2.5. We probably get second. Can someone check the math? I don't know. Pete's in here. But if we pulled 337, I want to say that would have given us second place. But that's okay because it allowed Devin to take third place, right? So it's all good. Like at the end of the day, I accept this outcome. It's you get what you like we didn't execute and we need to execute better. and it is what it is. I think he ended with the 840 total, which is like, for missing a third deadlift, that's kind of crazy because the 840 total a couple years ago would have been unbelievable. To see the talent rise and to see everybody get better, it's just been a joy to see. The sport is moving in the right direction. We're having to fight for things more. It's not just like, oh, free meat, you're just gonna get first. And but everybody's getting stronger. That's the thing, and that's kind of the exciting thing because what if a 900 total in like 5 years is like top three for 83s? You know what I mean? Like literally, you have to have 900 to be top three in the 83s. It might go that way. I think Joe can do that. I think Russ can do that. I think Delaney can get there. Um, the age of lifters being at that high level is getting later and later and later, you know. Um, but yeah, anyway, again, shout out to the meet director, shout out to the refs, shout out to the handlers, the spotters, the loaders. I'm very thankful that we had the opportunity to be in the mix. Looking forward to the next one. I think we have a couple people doing NAPF, and then I'm gonna go to Malta and take care of the juniors, and then probably some local meets, and then hibernate until Sheffy. Tina, yes, I did. By the way, guys, we are live, so that's why I'm talking to chat. Thank you guys so much. If you guys made it to the end, let me get a hashtag. You know what? Just say something nice about Delaney in the comments, because he is a trooper. He is an absolute killer, and he's extremely passionate about this sport, and that was not an easy loss to take, and technically it was a local meet, so it's not like it was a world title or anything, but if I just know that he really cares about the sport, and I want him to achieve all his goals and dreams, and I'm never gonna stop trying to get him to where he wants to go. So thank you guys so much. For those of you on YouTube, see you guys in the next one. Peace.